So what's up going with the CB? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm loving life. The Creator has blessed me.
Come on, man.
We here at Don Kiki's.
Come on, man.
Chilling out.
Come on,
look.
Man.
If you're not a cigar smoker, if you're not a bourbon drinker, and this ain't for you, then I would highly recommend that you find something else to be able to consume.
Oh no, to understand it.
To be able to watch.
Yes, yes.
This is where we're at. This is what we do, and we just kind of giving everybody a little glimpse of our personal.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is something that we personally come and do and build each other up, so we can get out there in the community and keep doing what it is that we do.
Yes, sir. Hey, that's a man. I'll tell you something, man. When you mention community, it hit home for me, man. Listen, man, I'm like an investor in my community, man. I don't just wear the shirt because I just do it for myself. I do it for the community, man. I'm teaching the young people and the adults about life, man. You know, about investments or about creating generational wealth. That's my brand, you know. So when you say community, man, you know, you need no glass of bourbon or no cigar to have this conversation with us. You know what I mean? To bring people to a whole nother level in life, elevate them. Yeah. You need this, man. This is like more so of our hobby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is socializing for us.
It's socializing hobby for us, man.
This is how we socialize.
Yeah.
No
So I'll tell you, man. So CB, you know, first off, man, I know you came to one of my first workshops, entrepreneurship, leadership, young adults, for youth and young adults workshop, and they turned these Florida, man, this past July already. So man, I really appreciate you for coming out there and showing that insight to our people. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for inviting me, man.
Right, no problem. And when I say our people now, not just black people, it's white, Hispanic, black, but the people is our future leaders, the youth and young adults. Right? We gotta coach them and train them. You know what I mean? I tell you, I'm blessed. You know, I got calls all this summer. I speak to my group of kids. And I feel honored to just come in there and speak to them and just show them some gold bars, silver medals, and show them, you know, hey, I show them some cash, right? Like one time I took $30K in cash, showed young adults, and showed this how you get this, right? So when we start talking about investing, and not just about property or own personal life, we're talking about how you invest in other people's lives, man. What you're doing for other people that help them understand, okay, if I could do it, because I once was, you know, tuna sandwich, mayonnaise sandwiches, syrup sandwiches, you know, bug juice, you know, tuna sandwiches. I eat tuna to this day, but you know, I was that product that, you know, man, my parents did the best they could do. You know what I'm saying? So we also had those days that, you know, we had to, you know, lay down the oven door to warm up at night when it's cold outside. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what made me be so much of an advocate for the individuals now in the 3214 plus area code communities. Because when I say plus, I'm down in Miami going to horse races, but I still want to go down to, you know, Hollywood, Florida, but I still go down to one or two exits, you know, lower or even higher to show some love in the community down there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Liberty City.
That's it, man.
Areas like that.
Now I don't just stop by. I be careful where I stop at. When I go to a store there, man, I show a lot of love and respect to the people there. Yeah. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, we're all people, right? And so I want to educate people. I want my brand. Gold bar status, investor, GBS. That's what we do. And people ask what I do, you know, and I tell them what I do. Gold bars, investments, and also basically what we're doing, I'm teaching how to build generational wealth. And not just by monetary asset, but also by knowledge. You know, because you teach a person, like there's an old saying, you teach a person how to fish, they'll never go hungry. If you keep giving them fishes, when you keep giving them fish, then what happens is when it's time that they run out of that fish, well, guess what? They're gonna be hungry because they don't know how to go catch that fish, right? So I like coming outside people and say, yo, give me your plan. Let's look at your portfolio and see what you're trying to do with your portfolio. I'm in it for the average guys. So what you about, man? You the Mr. Financial Coach, man. You know, I'm glad you came, brother. I tell you, man.
Thank you.
First and foremost, man. Oh yeah, appreciate you, man. You know, and I say that to say this. You know, today was my I have a cigar group, Gold Bar Set Cigar Social Club. You know, we all get together, have a good time. You know what I mean? But if you came up 30 miles out They show love, you know what I mean? And you don't want to came today, but that's all good and dandy. I still had my stuff set up, man. I say, I'm going to still have a good, it was an epiphany at that anyway. I say, I'm going to set it up and use it about 6-7 months. I'm going to set up and let, so when boy CB come in, we're going to have some chow down and chat it up while we're drinking bourbon, smoking cigars, and kick back and relax until we go to a restaurant and get some eat. That makes sense? So let the people know, brother, what are you doing, who you about, man, and what inspires you, man, and what motivates you to be the best in your business right now?
Well, first and foremost, I want to speak to something that you said, and that was supporting the community.
Yes, sir.
A lot of times, we get the idea of how to help our communities from other people.
Yes, sir.
Outside of our communities.
Big facts.
Now, when I say our, I mean melanated people. Okay. We are a unique group of people in the sense that we have all the opportunity in the world based upon how wealthy America is.
Right.
And at the same time, we are being held almost in a arrested state of development.
Okay.
Because of who we are.
Okay.
And where we are.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'll break that down a little more.
Let's do it.
Most people that look like me and you have been convinced that we come from Africa.
Right.
Now,
convinced. I like that, man.
Because we're melanated.
Right.
Yes. We were. And our melanation in our skin is what gave us our health. It's what gave us our vitality.
Okay.
But the people here in the Western Hemisphere, including the Caribbean, have not been from Africa probably in 1,000,000 years or more.
Yes, sir.
And who we really are what the explorers and the expeditionists wrote about in their reports and in their memoirs.
Okay.
We are the indigenous people to these lands. When Vasco da Gama, when Verrazano, when John Smith, when those explorers, when those expeditionists came here, in their memoirs, they described people that were very reminiscent of the Ethiopian, which the Ethiopia was a word that was used to refer to all of Africa.
Okay.
So when those explorers and expeditionists got here, they recognized us as being from Africa.
Okay.
But as they spent more time with us and observed us more, they realized we were our own people at this point in time.
Wow. Come on, man.
We are now the indigenous peoples of the Western Hemisphere. That includes Canada, Mexico, all of South America, all of the Caribbean. We are indigenous of these lands.
So let me ask you a question. I like how you mentioned that, man. And so, what do you think the beneficial factors that we can do as a culture, right, together? Because right now, we say we preach and yell unity when something negative happened, but we won't preach and yell unity when we're trying to do something positive together. Now we're catching on slowly, but how can we increase that to the maximum? How can we maximize that? How can we, like, you and I, both of us we have some financial knowledge, right? You do more so than insurance. You do investments overall, right? I have a specialization. If it's precious metals, gold bars, silver coins, New York Stock Exchange, stock market, and I do like asset, right? Like I have a baby grand piano and stuff like that. So creating generational wealth. You more so, you overall portfolio is about investments and getting the person together before they pass away or even when they want to retire, right? So how can we instill that knowledge into our culture that you mentioned 2 minutes ago?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a financial wellness educator and coach.
Okay.
So I educate people on how money works.
Awesome.
And then I coach them through a 7-step methodology that will get them from where they are to where they want to be, which is financially free and financially secure. So that's just basic financial education, which if you don't know how money works, someone's going to make a sucker of you.
Come on, man.
That's just how it
You
is.
said it again. Hey.
You know, not pulling any punches.
Right.
That's just what the deal is.
Facts.
You don't know how money works. The bank is going to make a sucker out of you.
Yep.
Mortgage companies will make a sucker
Loan shark
out of you.
Yeah.
You know, loan shark. You know, old school. Yeah, you're dealing with a loan shark.
Yeah.
But to speak upon what I was saying previously,
Yes, sir.
and to marry education into that, without you knowing who you really are, it's real challenging and almost impossible for you to understand where you need to go
Come on, man.
and how to get there.
Yes, sir. I like that.
For instance, most quote unquote African American people don't realize that you are an Indian. You are an indigenous person. So we've been taught that the group of people that have been labeled Indians don't really look like us.
Right.
They have casinos and hotels and things
Get
of
the
that
monthly
nature.
stipend. Reservations.
Now, the monthly stipend or the monthly welfare, in addition to the land that they were given,
Come on, man.
reservations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What those reservations did was put all of their wealth on hold.
Okay.
For the indigenous people, we lived off the land, which means we hunted, we gathered, and then we farmed
Peace.
crops.
Okay. Yep.
Our wealth was in the land.
I like that.
And eventually, as the colonists came after the explorers and the expeditions, they observed that our wealth was in the land, just like any other peoples around the world.
Yes, sir.
That's why they colonized this particular area of the world, because they saw how valuable our land was and how valuable what we did to the land was for all human beings, for all peoples. So without us knowing who we really are, we're all looking to Africa.
Right. Right.
Most people, depending on where they're from, they're named after the land or country that they come from. Russians are from Russia. Germans are from Germany. Canadians are from Canada. Mexicans are from Mexico. Australians are from Australia. Norwegians are from Norway.
Yes, sir.
Show me where African Americans are, because that's the label that has been placed on people. We didn't choose that.
Right.
That's the label that's been placed on people that look like you and me,
Yes, sir.
that are indigenous of the Western Hemisphere. We didn't choose that.
So you saying we have no category? That's what
I'm saying
like
is,
we have no nowhere to belong to. We just American. We're persons in America.
the category that we've been labeled with
Right.
does not
There's no connection.
exist.
Right.
Show me Africa, America on a map.
Right. Don't exist. Right.
It don't exist.
That's true.
There's no land in the world called Africa, America. But if I'm German, I can go to Germany.
Right.
If I'm French, I can go to France.
Yeah.
If I'm Spanish, I can go to Spain.
Yeah. That's true. I like that. Yeah.
Where do African Americans go?
I like that.
It's not an actual place. It's a political designation. We were given that label so that we don't understand who we really are and where we're really from. We are from right here. We're melanated, yes.
Ain't that something?
Africa's the cradle of all civilization.
Right.
Your white man, your blue man, your orange man, your purple man, your yellow man. We all came from Africa. Any geneticist, any scientist, any archaeologist will tell you that.
Yes.
And will give you proof to show you that that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
So why is it the people that look like us only in the Americas have been taught we're from a place that doesn't exist?
Wow. Or even half of the minority culture, black culture, have visited or from there. Our ancestors are, but I haven't been in Africa. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Now I say I'm Black American, right? That's what I say now. People say you African American. No, I haven't been to Africa, not for Africa. My ancestors are, but I'm Black American, right? So some people, they teeter-totter with the term I use. At the end of the day, that's my own personal opinion. I think it's more factual than me say African American. I haven't been to Africa. My ancestors are from Africa. But like you say, I was born in America. So therefore, I'm gonna categorize myself as a Black American man.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Where were your parents born?
America.
Where were their grandparents born?
America.
Where were your great-grandparents born?
America.
Where were your great-great-grandparents
Well,
born?
that's ancestry there. They may have been, Africa because it's been, I don't know, not a lot to you now, brother. I ain't never done much research. You can help me out with that? I'm gonna call the buddy. I'm gonna call you up. Chris, help me out with it.
I'm not saying that I'm an expert.
Right.
But from my own personal knowledge,
Okay.
from my own awareness of self, I've done research.
Okay.
And what I've researched is the melanated man has been here for 1,000,000+ years.
Wow.
When I say here, I mean the Western Hemisphere.
Okay.
That includes America, Canada, Mexico.
Okay.
That includes all of South America
Okay.
and Ethiopia. When I say South America, I mean Colombia. I mean Brazil. I mean Venezuela, Costa Rica, Argentina, and South America. We were all a part of this land. Now, we migrated here many millenniums ago from Africa.
Right.
But we are now our own people. Because this land has shaped us into a different people.
That's true. And so, but why now? Just like I'm a fan of generational wealth, I'm not a fan of, but I'm also aware of generational curse, right? And that could be impacted through chromosomes, DNA, even in household relationships with their parents, because they witnessed their parents did some negative stuff, even positive stuff to their kids. How do we go about breaking that down to helping our individuals to understand that, hey, our culture, to understand that, hey, we just as powerful as the next race if we come together and unify, or even 2 or 3 come together and say, look what we have amassed over time. And that could be 10 years, 5 months, even 1 year or 1 month. You'd be amazed how much benefits, how much asset a person can do. If we can work with individuals with different race backgrounds be straightforward. Money management background, as far as I'm talking with my buddies and fly-ins. They're millionaires. They've been retired for X amount of years, right? I understand you have people in your network that's millionaires that's been retired. They probably still been working for many years. And it's sad because, well, not really sad, but it's the reality is that, they all a different race, right? And I speak to them, they say, well, my buddy and I partner up, or my family partner up, or my dad or my mom left me this. Whatever the case may be. Or maybe they have ideas of themselves and everybody's rallied around them and they just push forward their vision, right? So how do we go about? Because we're talking about investing, and we talking about investing not just about in the market or in the digital world or even real estate. We're talking about investing in one's lives. In this particular case, we're talking about investing into our own culture, our own group, right? So how do we go by, enlightening, encouraging? Because we got Christian Brown, C Breezy have X amount of millions, so I'm gonna, hate on him or try to go after him. But instead of me reaching out to C Breezy and say, Christian Brown, that's Christian Brown. I'm not talking about the rapper.
Yeah, I'm the original. I'm 45, so I came before the other Chris Brown.
That make that clear.
I came before the other C Breezy.
Yeah, that make that clear. Man,
he's following me.
Yeah, I'm following him. Yeah.
No, the C Breezy that y'all used to, the one that got into all of that issues with Rihanna, yeah, I was before him. So I paved the way for him. I'm the maverick, the trailblazer for Chris Brown.
Come on, man.
So, man, wow. That is a multifaceted, layered question that you asked.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to do my best.
Hey, man, do the best you can, brother.
Let's start with the generational curse concept. As spiritual beings of source energy, as spiritual beings of God, I usually don't use the word God because it has too many preconceived connotations.
Okay.
If that makes sense to you.
Okay.
I want to keep it pure.
Right.
I want to keep it raw.
Yes, sir.
So we're pure source energy.
Yes, sir.
We're pure infinite intelligence.
Okay.
That is what's within us. We usually call it our subconscious. We usually call it our instincts. We usually call it our intuition.
Come on, man.
That's God.
Ain't that something?
Now, I'm not trying to offend your churchgoers.
Right.
I'm not trying to offend the people that think that God is in a specific building.
Right.
And in that building only.
You can speak to him.
I'm speaking on a universal level, and I'm also speaking on a interdimensional level.
I like that. Okay. That's deep there, man. That's deep.
We have to consider all of the dimensions when we consider ourselves.
Facts.
Because we have God in us. We are in God, or Gud, or Woden. The history of the word God comes from Old Germanic language. Germanic, excuse me. Old German language. God, G-O-D. Their language was G-U-D, Gud. And Wooden, W-O-O-D-E-N. So all of those things were used, those words were used to express the manifestation of the infinite intelligence, the source energy that was already in us. When you talk about generational curses, personally, and this is just me, individually, personally, I don't believe in that. Since we are all source energy, since we are of God, a part of God, and from God, then we're not bound to the earthly and carnal concept of karma.
I like that.
When I say carnal, I mean the animalistic, I mean the conscious brain of humanity. Our consciousness is when do we eat, when do we sleep,
What time is it? Let me go.
are we warm, are we cold,
Happy, sad.
are we ready to make love,
Yep.
are we happy, sad, are we ready to go to the bathroom after we've eaten?
Facts.
That's the carnal or conscious mind.
Okay.
Elevate that.
Yes, sir.
Now you have your subconscious mind. Elevate that again. Now you have your superconscious mind. The subconscious
That's God,
mind, thank you.
Yep. That's God, that, brother.
Now, the subconscious mind, for me personally, is God.
Right.
That's that right and wrong.
Yes, sir.
That's that intuition. Don't go down that street. Something might happen.
Right.
Don't go to that club tonight. I don't feel right. Something might happen.
Right.
Don't deal with that particular person. Something don't feel right.
Right. Right.
Something might happen.
Right.
That's God. But when we go to these churches, we've been taught that God is some man in the sky outside of us that we have to look up to and bow down to. Right. Some old man with a big, long, gray beard that passes down judgment on us.
Yeah.
That's what we've been taught. The actuality is completely opposite. It's completely different.
Man.
If you speak to a psychologist, they'll tell you it's the subconscious mind.
Wow.
If you speak to a guru, if you speak to someone that spent all their time in the Himalaya mountains meditating, your monks and things like that, they'll tell you God is the heart. The heart has intelligence.
I believe it.
On a spiritual level and on a physical level. On the physical level, the same brain cells, if you scrape your brain, okay, with a scalpel, the same cells that you would scrape off of your brain are in your heart. The heart has 40,000 plus brain cells in it. So that means your heart has an intelligence.
Come on, man.
As well as your brain by itself.
By itself, brother.
By itself.
Yeah.
So for me, for these gurus, for these people that teach the law of attraction, for these people that teach things such as that nature, God is the heart. God is the subconscious. Now the superconscious or the Christ-like mind is within your pineal gland. This is a little gland that sits in the center of your brain. That's not made up. It's not fictional. You can go to any anatomy book and you will see the pineal gland listed right along with all the other glands in your body.
Come on, man.
Your pituitary, all the other glands in your body, the pineal gland is listed there. That's your connection to the superconscious, to the Christ-like conscious, to the universal and interdimensional consciousness. We're conduits of that. That's why source energy manifested us. It wanted to manifest its beingness, if that makes any sense. The state of being, the state of actualization. That's when we were born. That's when the planets, that's when the universes and the solar systems were born. When source energy decided to actualize itself. And along came human beings.
Come on, man.
So if we don't understand what our very nature is, brother Al, we're going to be lost from the get-go. So if we go to church, they teach you karma. They teach you the old gray man with the long gray beard in the sky that is judgmental and is going to destroy you. You'll never realize the God within that we were created to be.
Yeah.
We don't need to go to a church.
Right.
We don't need to go to a building.
Right. A person.
Or a person
right.
to connect to that God-like being.
Exactly. Facts.
Well, for me personally, church is going to the beach. And absorbing all
having
of
a one-on-one time.
And connecting with God.
Come on, man.
The God heart.
That's true. Yes, sir.
Walking on a nature trail in the middle of a forest.
Yeah, that's God.
That's church for me.
Yeah.
That's God for me.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Looking out my patio doors in my living room.
Come on, man.
Over my backyard, watching the squirrels, the woodpeckers.
Come on, man.
The robins.
Yes, sir.
The blue jays.
Yes, sir. Yep.
That's God.
He created all those things. He created all that.
I don't need to go to a building to connect with
Right, right. Or even, or someone to say, well, there's a lot of people now do a lot of shunning. You know, you not doing something right, so we're gonna shun you from this religion, right? Or you don't belong in this religion. I think it's man-made. Most of the stuff, you know, it's all generational, embedded in our mindset anyways, man. You know, because when we first, whatever you've been born into, whether it be through, whether it be through Baptist, Pentecostal, Catholic, whatever the case may be, that's generational, been taught about.
Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah.
Did you just mention Pentecostal?
I did.
You got your Christian Baptists, you got your Southern Baptists, you got your Catholics.
But all has been embedded in well, I'll put this, it's been inherited to us from our grandmothers, our mom, or dad, and from their mom and dad, right?
Correct.
I had a buddy of mine, he said he did some time in the penitentiary. He said, listen, I had enough time on my hands, so I just studied everything. I studied all religions, right? And so with the religions he studied, he said, man, half of the time, man, you know, I relate more to this religion than that religion. You know, and I said, well, the reason why, because we was born into a certain religion that was taught that, hey, we got to take up on this religion, it was bestowed on us, we got to take up on this religion based on our parents or grandparents have been doing for years.
Brainwashing.
Right, yeah. I didn't want to say it, but I just said, yeah, it is.
Well, this is a real conversation.
Yeah, that's real.
We're not pulling any punches.
That's real, yeah, that's real, yeah.
If you speak to a mental health therapist, if you speak to a psychologist, if you describe the religion that you grew up in, they would identify that as a cult. Or they would identify that as brainwashing by a cult.
Come on, man.
Now,
even with television, though.
well, wow, that's a whole
I just threw it in there.
Question.
I know, I just threw it in there, but you know, you mentioned
things in there,
man. And brainwashing.
That's why I like you, man.
Yeah.
That's why I like you. Programming. If you look at your TV guide, it's called programming.
Right.
For the television.
Yeah. So telling you.
So they're being upfront and letting you know
what they're doing.
We're programming your mind for you.
Yes, sir.
You're not doing it.
That's true.
We're doing it for you.
You keep watching something. You keep watching a certain show or a certain sitcom at a certain time. You already programmed, but eventually it's called carrying on behavior or adaptive behavior. You're going to adapt to how the people communicate, how people see life.
Correct.
You start seeing their view. You start seeing the same view through their eyes instead of your own understanding. You do it through their understanding.
That is
Sense?
correct.
So you know, that's crazy.
You know, the melanated people in the Western Hemisphere, they view themselves through someone else's eyes because they look at the media. Now, when I say media, I mean news.
Right.
It could be on the radio.
Right.
It could be CNN on the TV.
Right.
Cable TV.
Yes, sir.
Or it could be Fox or NBC, CBS, your regular news stations.
Yes, sir.
That are in full rotation every single day.
Most definitely.
They help to program somebody's mind. But what they program it with is fear. Now, to go back to what you were saying, because people that look like me are a passion of mine.
Right.
Because they look like me.
Exactly.
Now, altruistically, I love all of humanity. For all of humanity. And my efforts and my mission in the community is for all
walks of life.
Humanity
Right.
walks of life.
Right.
But I'm specifically, thank you, I'm specifically concerned with the people that look like me.
And that's true. Same here.
That's because we've been purposely miseducated. We've been purposely misguided. We've been purposely brainwashed by many different stereotypes as well, by many different entities. We got your media, which is music.
Come on.
That includes hip hop music.
I know.
Hip hop music ain't ours anymore. When I say ours, I mean melanated people. It belongs to the industry now, and whatever concept they want to push
Come on, man.
to our
They give it to the musicians to push that concept.
correct.
Yep.
It's no longer our music anymore.
Come on, man.
Magazines,
Yep.
when all you see is skinny, light-skinned, or white people as the epitome
cover person.
of beauty, of beauty, the epitome of beauty.
Come on, man.
When they're on cover magazine, they're the
Centerfold.
cover person on the magazine, they're the centerfold.
Yep.
You know, it brainwashes us or convinces us to think that concept of beauty is what beauty really is.
Right. I'm not good enough.
So now I'm not good enough. I'm gonna touch on something that is very personal
Yes, sir.
to the melanated community. And for those that don't understand what I'm saying, I mean black. I don't use that word because there's no such thing. That's not a description of people.
That's true.
That's a description of a color.
Yes. Yes. Come
My
on,
hair
man.
is black,
Yes. Yes. My
but that's not
eyelids-
who I am.
Right. Right. Eyebrows black. My hair all black. Right. I'm a person.
My skin is brown.
Right. Come on, man. That's still
Your
a color.
skin is brown.
Right. Yep. And you know what? I always said that, man.
If you want to speak from an artistic point of view,
Yeah.
if I was painting a oil canvas
I'd
of
be
you,
bronze.
Brother Al,
Yeah.
I would use the bronze color.
Come on, brother. Yeah. All right.
If I was painting the picture of someone opposite that looks like you,
Right.
what we have been trained and brainwashed to call white, as an artist on a canvas, I would use alabaster.
Wow. Come on, man.
The color alabaster.
Knowledge, man. I like that. I like that.
So we're not black.
Right.
We're not even white.
Right.
If you want to talk about the description of us, the description of us is completely different.
Right. Right.
Now, if you want to talk about our people, our culture, and who we are indigenous Indian people of the Western and South American hemispheres.
I like that.
So if we start thinking on that level, we can understand that this land is ours. Mr. Verrazano, one of the original explorers
Okay.
in New York City, the Verrazano Bridge is named after Mr. Verrazano.
Wow. Okay.
When he came to the Americas, Mexico, United States, what we call the United States now, what we call Mexico now, what we call Canada now, he described the people as being very reminiscent of the Ethiopian, which that word was used to describe all of Africa and people from Africa. And he described them as having feathers in their hair, and they wore animal skins.
Okay.
Now, if we turn to media will show us movies
True.
with the quote-unquote red
Yep.
Indian people.
That's true.
That's
Yep.
not the original indigenous people.
That's true.
They were the people that moved in after the indigenous people were destroyed.
Okay. Okay.
Capitol Hill,
Yep.
the White House, the Pentagon, any government building that you can think of in your respective state, meaning California, Massachusetts, Florida, New York, Georgia, New Mexico, New Hampshire, the government lands in all of those respective areas belong to people that look like you and me. But we've been convinced that we're
Come on. Wow.
we're African
Wow.
American.
Wow.
We're not looking here where we live,
Come on, man.
breathe, and were born
Come on, man.
as our birth right.
Yes, sir. That's why it's funny because you got some of the people saying, "Man, I can't wait to go to my motherland. I'm moving to my motherland," which is I understand. I respect that 100%, right? But you're from here, you know what I mean. So it's good to have investment here, and then go to the motherland and have investment there as well. You know what I mean? Because if we just all flee away, we just flee from America, then we'll pretty much
What about the
we'll
Caribbean?
give in, man.
You know, what about the people in Jamaica?
Yeah.
St. Croix, St.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah.
You know, what about the people in the Dominican Republic? What about the Haitian people?
Yep.
All of those people are a part of our original heritage.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Our original heritage.
But why is it so much? Why is there so much division there, man? I've met some people that's from the Caribbean locations and Caribbean. You know, people have different pronunciations on that, and they say, "Well, I'm not, not a minority. I'm X, Y." They say something different. You know, you can say, I don't know if you brainwashed or what it is, brother, but for us to move to the next level in life, I'm gonna tell you something, man. A lot of my closest friends and people that gave me a benefit and gave me benefit of doubt, a lot of assistance was not. I mean, there was melanin. There was Hispanics and whites. You know what I'm saying? Many blessings to my culture, but I just get a lot of no's, brother. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why. I don't know why is that. I don't know, because we want to try to hold on with everything we got. Maybe we've been taught that way, trained that way. Like, no, I won't help you out. You know, you might try to get me to take my idea, whatever the case may be. Whatever that may be. But I have more, I have more support from other races. Whether it be melanin or not, but they've been more support not from a black race.
All of humanity is in a psychological coma.
Okay.
To where we don't know who we are spiritually.
Wow. Awesome.
Now, let's break that down a little further to specific groups.
Talk to me, Brother Brown. Talk to me.
The melanated or brown-skinned people have been specifically miseducated.
Wow.
So that we do not know who we are spiritually. We do not know who we are physically.
Even mentally, bro. Even in the flesh, right, man.
As well.
We lost, man. That's why a lot of our people, we ask a young kid, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they quit to show their shoulders, and then we got, so when they show their shoulders, someone else putting stuff, you should be a football player or a basketball player, or you should be X, Y, and Z. And those are great, great ideas as well. But on the other hand, you got someone to say, well, if you don't know what you're going to be, well, I'm not going to give you no ideas what you're going to be, and I witness that as well. So why not push? If a young person say, I don't know, all right? Well, how much? And my first question to that young person will be, how much you trying to make a year? How much your net worth trying to be? What your net worth trying to be? Because everybody know how much they want to make, right? And so your football player is great, basketball player is fantastic. However, we need to make those secondary because you got over 100,000 plus individuals applying for the same job, the same position you're trying to do when you get old enough in the professional career. What is your primary, career? It could be entrepreneurship, it could be technology, it could be business, it could be healthcare field. What is your passion? When I speak to young brothers that's 12 years old and Caucasian race, I spoke to them and I say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he was like, I want to be a doctor because my dad have I said, why? 12 years old. He said, give me some tasks that I can research, what school I need to go to and what state I need to work for. Also, matter of fact, let's get it down to what house I want to live in, how much I want to spend on the house in this state. So it was California, I want to spend $1.4 million. He wanted to be a doctor and help his dad because his dad was having problems with his heart. He was 12 years old, Caucasian male, right? And I asked, on the flip side, I asked a 15-year-old, this recent, maybe 14, 15-year-old, black male. I said, what you want to be when you grow up? And they showed me. Now, I also met another 15, 16-year-old black male, and I said, what you want to be when you grow up? He said, I want to be a kickboxing with it, UFC fighter, right? Okay. He said, because when his dad was living, he used to train with him on that, right? So it motivated him. So he was able to grab that concept of being what is that, man? The kickboxing, MMA.
MMA.
There we go. MMA. You know, he said he want to be MMA fighter by taking time out. His dad took time out with him and started practicing and training on that. But that's very rare, man. That those two cases that have, you know, some kind of idea of what they want to be. Matter of fact, I had a dude. He was 13 years old. I spoke to a group. Many blessings to him. I say, how much you want to be? When you get to 30, 40, 50 years old, how much you want to be? Well, how much you want to be worth when you get, you know? He said $10,000.
That's it?
I said, man, I got that in my bag, man. I say,
wow.
You have to understand. I said, look, exactly. I said, wow, $10,000. He said that's what he wants his net worth to be. 10,000 nowadays, that's not too much impressive anymore, right? It's like another $100 to a certain caliber person, right? So when he said that answer, 10,000, I said, bro, I got that in my bag right now. However, let's give let's say $1 million. Let's say 1.2 million. I had to jog his memory and give him some positive input. Aim for higher, man. Then also, what are you trying to be? I want to be a veterinarian. Why? Because I love animals. Okay. How can you, now you can be a millionaire being a veterinarian, however, you gotta have your own private practice on that. But also you need other entities as well. So you need to create some kind of medicine for the animals, like the dogs have a English bulldog. I'm gonna get one of those, but I say try to develop a medicine that would prevent the English bulldog from passing away at an early age because they have some kind of disease, right? So I say that will make you a multi-millionaire. That will create generational wealth. That will leave you a legacy because your name is attached to that medicine, right? Sometimes I think outside that box, man, and sometimes we had dialogues to brainstorm with these individuals because they don't know, man. You know, they don't know, brother.
Man, Al, you bring so many multifaceted, layered concepts to the table, brother.
My bad. I hope I ain't throw you off, man.
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize for that. Because that's how we all need to be thinking. In layers. In the future, we need to start thinking generationally.
You have to, man.
Because guess what? Every other group of people is thinking that way and already doing it. And guess what? They already have strategies and plans in place to execute and manifest that multi-generational thing.
Facts.
For people that look like us,
yes, sir.
I'll start with this.
Talk to me.
Mindset.
Oh, most definitely.
We were the first peoples to walk the earth.
Yes, sir.
I don't care what any other group of people have to say, but when you look at it from a scientific point of view, any scientist will tell you the cradle of civilization is Africa.
Hey, come on, man.
I don't care if you're French. I don't care if you're Bulgarian. I don't care if you're from Yugoslavia.
Okay.
I don't care if you're from the Caucasus Mountains of Russia. We are all from Africa when you test
DNA. Come on, man. Most definitely.
Keeping that in mind, the original peoples, their development has been purposely arrested. When I say arrested, I mean held, I mean captured, slowed down, taken away. The development of the peoples has been taken away. When you look at that on a community level,
come on, man.
It's devastating.
Come on, man.
Strong families make strong communities. Strong communities make strong nations.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
If I can take out your families, I can take out your nation.
Come on, man. Wow.
And this is what has been conceived of by people that don't look like us.
Wow.
Because their pursuit was power and wealth.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And the only way to take that from the peoples who originally walked the earth was to miseducate them.
knowledge,
and misguide them
wow,
on purpose.
yep, and install fear.
And install fear. Now,
Wow,
am I directing that to any recent descendant of the Caucasian, of the Edomite people? I refrain from using the word white because that does not describe a group of people and their cultures. Thank you. It describes a culture. So when we're talking about the Edomite culture, this is what's born from it. They realized that they were the only people on earth that looked like them. Light-skinned, lacking of melanin. Not because it was necessarily a curse, but because of natural selection and the natural progression of the human species.
So you said we one and the same?
Yes, we are.
And we let color define us. Right?
The light-skinned people are the prodigal son that has returned. If you read the Bible and subscribe to the theories and concepts of the Bible, the roosters have come home to roost. So all of the things that we see in the light-skinned Caucasian European culture is a byproduct of the, how do I put this, the negative aspects of the melanated people.
And that's all.
And also the natural aspects of us.
Jeez, man. I tell you, man, it's just sad, man, that in today's times, it's been going on for years, though, honestly, that we just letting color and beliefs just destroy humanity as a whole. Right?
I'll tell you something, Al.
Crazy.
You know what's crazy? Color never came into the picture until like the Spanish Inquisitions. Have you ever heard of the Spanish Inquisitions?
Break it down.
So at that time, they were trying to separate Christians from all other faiths. Your Protestants, your Catholics, your Muslims, your Moors. They wanted to separate those people, but they could not do it by beliefs alone. They discovered the best way to divide and conquer was by color. Because just by you and I sitting here from each other across this table speaking to each other,
yes, sir.
I wouldn't know if you were a Christian or a Protestant.
Facts.
You could tell me anything.
Right. Facts.
The Spanish Inquisition said, let's separate them by
color. Wow. So we can tell ourselves. We can tell by looking at it.
So that we'll be able to immediately identify those that are not a part of our religion, reglios, or control. The word religion in Latin is reglios, which means control. So when I hear these people out here talking about, I have the true religion, in my mind, I have the true control. Well, I don't want to be controlled anymore.
Right.
I am
free will.
I have free will.
Yep.
I am a sentient being in the image of God, source, infinite intelligence. I don't want to be controlled.
Oh, that's right.
Now, do I want to be guided?
Sure. I'll do that. Coach, train.
Do I want to be coached, trained? Sure, if it resonates with who I am.
Exactly.
As a sentient being.
Exactly.
Do I want to be Regliosed?
No.
Religioned?
No, you'll be
Or
controlled.
controlled?
No. No, man. That's not freedom, brother.
When someone, thank you.
Yeah.
When someone comes to me and says, I have the true religion, I'm running for the hills and headed the other direction. You have the true control. I don't want that.
Because you should know when you start just, spilling out words, you should know what the meaning of those words. You know? And so it's so unfortunate because people they just spill these words out, or say these words and don't know the terminology, they don't know the definition of terminologies, man. You know what I'm saying? So even then, when I talk, because I talk fast, I think fast, so I have to be careful of the terminology I use because it can be interpreted different. Because some words have more than one definition too. However, it's compared to that sentence, right? How you use it in the sentence. Correct. So it's just sad, man, that now it boiled down to the color of a person. We no longer worry about the education or the skill set. Forget about education.
Yes.
The certification status. You know what I'm saying? It's all about you go to Harvard, Yale. You go to all those high profile colleges and then or universities, and you go sit in interview. You go to interview with an interviewer with the boss or the CEO or the manager, and they won't hire you because of your skin or because of the hobby that you do. And that's why, and it's sad because we have to present ourselves 10 times more appropriately than our fellow brother or sister. That's opposite race.
Well, I go back to a person knowing who they are. Like Brother Martin Luther King said, it's the content of a man's character.
That's true.
Not the color of their skin. Now, if we want to go deeper, the content of a man's character is knowing who you are emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and physically.
Man, it's where to find you at.
I'm a financial literacy educator and coach, and you can find me at christianbrown.howmoneyworks.com. That's my website. You'll find educational videos. You'll find educational material there about how money works. But what we've been talking about here is a deeper concept.
Exactly. So we gotta pick up on that, man. So we gotta do some more Zoom, some more podcasting, and just pick up on that, and then also talk about other topics as well. We don't want to bore our listeners, but we'll definitely pick up this, and then also pick it back on other topics that we talk about.
And we'll have other people here as well. But I encourage all melanated people to do your own research.
Yes, sir.
Stop being intellectually lazy. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you who you are and where you're from.
That's facts, man.
Because if someone can tell you who you are and where you're from, they can control you.
That's it.
They can shape your mindset.
That's it. Just like that.
Your mindset is yours. Your mindset comes from God.
Know who you are.
Know who you are and what you are and
don't
where
be ashamed
you're
of
from.
it. That's true.
And do not be ashamed of it.
Be blessed, family. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Be blessed.
We'll see y'all.